Gentlemen, welcome to the HSBN Media Day Conference. Coach, if you could begin just by introducing yourself and also introducing the guys you have up here with you.
All right, from my right to left, I have one of our new freshmen, CJ right there. I've got an up-and-coming junior right here in Marty Stormer, and I got one of our two seniors in Edward, and then assistant coach Josh Sirota.
And you are?
I'm Jay Cohen.
It's an exciting time right now for Stranahan. I mean, you got all your guys coming back this year. You know, there's been nice improvement the last couple of years. I got to assume that this is a year to be excited for you guys. Am I right?
We're excited, yes. To go on the success of the last 2 years since I've been here. We're a little bit thin in terms of depth, but other than depth, our front line should be pretty competitive. Like I said, we only have two seniors, Edward being one of them. So the future looks bright if we possibly get more kids into the school, is basically what it comes down to. And that comes down to Coach Josh and myself, going out to the different little leagues and stuff like that and promoting our school a little bit better than we've been.
But obviously, success breeds that sort of thing too. And you guys have certainly been improving and making it a little bit of an easier case, I would think.
It's still a struggle because ultimately it is a small school. I mean, we have 1,400 kids in the school, where football dominates and now basketball dominates. So you have those kids who are going to those particular sports and just not coming out for baseball. It's just got to go out there and hammer baseball, and start getting into the kids' minds that hey, we are the winningest program in the school in the last 2-3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And just know that hey, we're competitive, and just go out there and play ball.
Does that mean how much does that mean to you to know that you've been helped to be a part of the better Dragons program in the last couple of years over there?
I mean, it means a lot to me just seeing playing with Marty and these guys for a few years, seeing them develop and get better. It's just cool to see that work hard.
And you were a guy. I can remember when you were the freshman on the team. Obviously, I'm sure you can relate to some of these young guys like CJ coming in as a freshman.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about being in a role now to mentor players like that.
Yeah, like your first year, it feels like, especially playing varsity, your first year feels like getting thrown into the fire, but it's only going to help you get better because once you're our age, you should be able to just dominate the competition because you've been playing for so long.
And on the verse of that, you're a freshman coming in. The numbers are small. You're in a position to see a lot of playing time where most freshmen don't even see varsity field, let alone get on there and get a chance to play a lot. How exciting is that for you?
Obviously, I'm going to be against tougher competition, but it will help me develop the next 3 years.
Coach, just take me through the work you did in all the off season, in the summer and in the fall, to kind of groom things along to where we are right now.
Well, what I did was this past year, going by this past year, is these guys have been with me. So we all played summer together. Every
Which
single
I know
guy.
because you were in a lot of our tournaments. I got to see all you guys together.
Every single one of these kids played summer with us. Every single one of them played the fall. So it was basically a year that they've all been, with us. Coach Josh has only been with us for about a month or so, and he's bringing a lot to the table from the school he comes from and the knowledge that he knows, and it's helped me out greatly because, as you know, I've been out there by myself for the last 2 years. So, now it alleviates some of the pressure off of me to have to be doing everything. He's been a great asset, and I'm sure, and I can, not speaking for the guys, but I'm sure the guys like him and, respect him. It's just working and grinding, and we're going to do the same thing all again after this season. We take a short break, go right into the summer, into the fall, and just keep it grinding. And the only way you can get better is playing and practicing. Sitting on our rear ends, just doesn't cut it. Just winning 9-10 games doesn't cut it. It's not going to cut it till hey, we could finally say, hey, look, we're a district champion. Hey, we've made it to a state final, or even into states. And you know what? As far-fetched as it might sound, I believe it, and I'm sure these guys believe it.
I believe in it. There's, especially from the HSBN point of view, we know that the difference between those successful programs that win state titles and some of the ones that aren't quite there, it's really not that far. You know, a lot of it comes down to the one thing that I'm really seeing today, which is dedication and the hard work. Over some of the years that we've covered Stranahan, they really haven't had that consistency year to year. You don't see it's new players every year. I mean, just talk about these guys have really committed to what you're doing, and they've bought in.
I think what you're exactly what you're saying is in terms of consistency. As you know, assistant for 1 year, head coach for 2. It's these guys have seen it. I'm there. I mean, I've not let them down. I've not walked away from them. I've been there relentlessly, leaving my own job to get there for them, and they see that I'm there for them every step of the way. And I like to tell them, I'm your second father. So I mean, it's you're right. It's consistency and just keeping it going, from start to finish.
What does that mean to you guys? As a player to have a coach and an assistant coach now that are this dedicated?
It means a lot to see that they're as dedicated as we are, because it helps that we have someone that's dedicated that can help us, and we can, just put everything that they showed us to the table and see how far it goes.
And again, I know you were just like the rest of the guys. You were a part of everything through the whole off season. How big of a development did you see from that? How much did that help you guys to put you where you are right now? I
think we've developed a lot. Even though losing our 5 seniors last year, we still developed a lot than what we did in the previous year.
A lot of times with that too, especially when you're trying to turn things in that direction. It's just kind of teaching them how to win and to believe that they can win, and teach them some of those finer points. Kind of take me through that process of getting these guys to believe that you can do this, just like you said.
Coach.
Well, I think Coach Cohen has established a pretty good track record for himself, not only at Stranahan, but in the coaching community, especially in Broward. So, being able to build upon the success that the school's already had in the couple seasons is only showing the kids that, we're going to be able to get the ball rolling, we're going to be able to stay competitive, and that winning mentality is not that far away. Like you said, that difference between, a state title contender and a district title contender and just, an average team truly isn't that far out of their reach, especially as a team that gets to compete in a really strong district with McCarthy and Heritage. These kids get to see good competition on a weekly basis. So, having a lack of depth isn't necessarily a bad thing. You get good exposure for young kids to start playing at a competitive level early. And, I'm just excited to be able to join this and kind of help ride this wave and help these kids get to where they want to be. So I'm excited for that.
And I mean, you've had as good a view as anybody. I mean, you've been here longer than everybody else at the table. Kind of take me through what it's like now to see where the program is now in your senior year, as opposed to kind of where it was when you first got there as a freshman.
With Coach Jay and Coach Jones together, I think that they work well together, getting players better developed and getting them to the next level. So I feel like as long as they can keep bringing in players, they'll be fine.
He really hit on it. I mean, the district is not easy. Obviously, those are teams that've won state titles. I mean, they've earned the recognition that they're the hunted. You guys really kind of have to embrace that underdog sleeper role. But again, it's possible to beat those teams and take that away from them.
Well, as you know, because I think you were there, is in our district play, when we played Archbishop, I mean, we were a hit away from taking the lead on them and really putting a lot of pressure on them. I mean, I don't know if you remember, it was, we had bases loaded, 2 outs, and one of our guys hits a gapper, and the guy makes a diving catch. He doesn't make that catch, that's a triple. I'm scoring 3, or we're scoring 3 runs. The ball game's a different ball game. And he did start his ace against us because he was a little bit scared of what we can do. And the thing is, we're going to shock some people, I think. Our schedule is conducive to what, our talent. So we should have a pretty decent year.
Any particular thing, spring break or a big rivalry game? Is there anything on the schedule you're most looking forward to?
Well, like always with Stranahan, it's always Fort Lauderdale. That's our rivalry game. That's what our school gets up to. And beating them last year for the first time in 17 years really had that school in an uproar for Fort Lauderdale. We schedule them towards the end of the year. We'll go ahead and hopefully take care of business with them again. And just keep building.
And like he said about our schedule, the beginning of our season is we play a bunch of really winnable games, and it gives our kids a good opportunity to get that mentality of what it feels like to win and to win often. And then going into district play, we're poised for a very decent, good, competitive season this year. I'm excited for what we got.
I like it, and I'll tell you, when we talked to Fort Lauderdale, they mentioned that as well. They're looking forward to that game. They appreciate that rivalry. Especially with the climate of today's baseball with so many private schools and charter schools, they love to maintain that, public school, old tradition rivalry. And I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to get back out there after you guys beat them last year.
Well, honestly, they weren't even on our schedule. I mean, when the schedule first came out, they weren't even on our schedule. Then I went to the coaches meeting and said, Coach Portis, you're not even on our schedule. He goes, well, let's correct it right now. So, I added it, and there's no way I was not going to add it. If I had to drop another team to add that game, I was adding that game.
Yeah, and obviously him saying that, let's do it right now, it shows he doesn't want to.
We're ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, is last year they came to us, and we beat them, in our place. And he's like, well, you beat me last year at your place, so now you come to me. I'll play you. I'll play anybody. We'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Not scared of anybody right this second.
That's the mentality you guys want to have, am I right?
Hungry dogs. Mm-hmm.
Now, who's your first one? When do you guys get started this week?
We start tomorrow against Miramar, and then we have Coconut Creek on Wednesday.
Guys, let's wrap this up. We'll take no more of your time. I know the next time you wear these, it'll be the real thing tomorrow. Go out there, get it done. We're excited for you guys, and again, I appreciate you coming here today, and I applaud the hard work that you've done, because I know it's been a long process to get you to this point. There's still a long way to go, but keep doing what you're doing, guys.
And we appreciate all the work HSBN's done, not just for us, but for high school baseball in the area, for everything they've done. Appreciate you, Rick, for everything you've done. Appreciate Anthony for everything he's done, because you guys have always really looked out for not just me as a coach, but as for my team. I've really helped my team out to where they're getting opportunities that they've never gotten before I got there. I mean, you guys have always bent over backwards for me and for them. They don't know the backstory of all of it, of how you bend over backwards for them, but I appreciate it, and Coach Josh knows, because I've told him some of the things. So really appreciate what HSBN's done for me, my program, and for and for my team.
We're grateful for the opportunity, Coach. You really are. And again, that's what's important in HSBN more than anything else, is to do everything we can to help high school baseball players to have the greatest high school baseball experience. So we appreciate that, and I'm glad that's music to our ears to know that that's what's happening. That's what we want to happen. Go out there and get it done tomorrow, guys. Let's get it started.
Thank you.